Okay, so this video is for Gordon Ramsay, so if you're not Gordon Ramsay, just keep scrolling. Anyways, hi Panini Head. I just wanted to let you know that some people are kind of saying low-key that, like, I'm a better chef than you, and, like, obviously, like, I know that that's, you know, true. So I just wanted to show you this recipe for
They were making these delicious, buttery, melt-in-your-mouth flour tortillas. Start by mixing 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of salt with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Melt half a cup of unsalted butter with 1 cup of water. Mix until the butter is completely melted and add it to the flour while it's still warm. Mix until your flour comes together and knead it into a nice smooth ball of dough. Cover it with plastic for 10 to 15 minutes. Separate them into equal-sized pieces and roll them into nice smooth balls of dough. Transfer them back into the bowl and cover them with the plastic for 10 more minutes. On a lightly floured working surface, roll out your first piece until you have a 10 to 12 inch round. Preheat your pan, skillet, or comal over medium heat and place your tortilla. Once you see these bubbles begin to form, flip it over. Cook for an additional 30 seconds, then flip again. These tortillas are super buttery and delicious. They taste great just by themselves. And enjoy.
As she walks by, what a sight for sore eyes, brighter than the blue sky. She's got you mesmerized. Just polyester, but you like it better. I wish I had them.
This is an easy snack you can make with a cucumber.
We're making Olive Garden's breadsticks, but 10 times better. And if you want the recipe for the chicken gnocchi soup, it's in my last video. But to get started, you want 1 cup of warm water. You're gonna add 2 teaspoons of yeast, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and mix and set aside. In your mixer bowl attachment, you're gonna add 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons salt, and 3 tablespoons olive oil. After you let your yeast mixture sit for 10 minutes, go ahead and add it in last. You want to knead your dough for 10 minutes, add it to an oiled bowl, and let it rest for 1 hour. 1 hour later, you want to dust your countertop with some flour. Pat your dough ball down gently, and you want to cut out 10 breadsticks. You're basically going to cut them into long strips and then cut the long strips in half. And you want to roll them out very gently, tapering the ends. The less you touch them, the better they're going to come out. You're going to cover with a towel and let them rest for another 15 minutes. Add them to an oiled baking sheet, and we're going to brush on some egg wash. For my egg wash, I only used 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of water. Bake at 365 for 10 minutes. Brushing on 5 tablespoons of melted butter, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and dry parsley, and we're done.
Jika memang masih bisa mulutku berbicara,
Santun kata yang ingin terucap, kan ku dengar caci
dan puji dirimu padaku. Oh, kita masih muda dalam mencari keputusan. Maafkan.
Keep the butt on if you don't want to cry. Dice your onion. Chop up your green onions. Greens and whites, we don't discriminate around here. For garlic, minced. Mince it real good. Chinese sausage, 2 eggs, a few splashes of fish sauce. Heat up your oil. Make sure that it's hot. Wait until your onions develop color and a little char, then add your sausages. Slide everything to the side. Then you add your rice. Soy sauce, fish sauce, sriracha. Combine it all together. Chef's kiss!
My mom challenged me to make a meal out of 5 random ingredients. First, I chose eggs. And then I chose corn, so I went with a cornbread mix. And then I chose orange, so I picked a bunch of oranges. I chose almonds. And lastly, some honey. I literally have no idea how this is going to turn out. But first I decided to make an orange glaze for my cornbread. I started by pouring a 1/4 cup of honey into a pot and juicing an orange into the pot as well. As that simmered on the stove, I zested an orange and set it aside. Then I poured a cup of almonds into a food processor and made almond flour, and then I added in my cornbread mix as well. So now I'm working with a corn almond flour. In a separate bowl, I combined 1/2 of a cup of honey and 3 eggs.
Light and fluffy.
I added in my homemade flours to the mixture and juiced some more oranges into it. Then I put my corn cake batter in the oven, and when it was cool enough, I flipped it over and poked some holes into it to pour my honey glaze over. This cake was so delicious, I had to do my happy dance.